this question too. It's to do with quadratics. I'm going to go straight into it. So the very first question is just factorize this quadratic. So I'm looking for two numbers that times to make 12 and add up to make -4. And I think it's going to have to be 2 and 6. So I'm just going to factorize straight away. I've got 2 there, and I've got 6 there. The graph with the equation, and it's the same exact quadratic. Stating values where the curve crosses the coordinates. So quick sketch involves this essentially. So I wouldn't even sketch it first. I would write in where they cross. So 1 should be at -2. So I'll put it there, -2. One of them should be at 6. So 6 would be about here. And it's at this point that you might want to find out where it crosses the y-axis. Now it's going to cross the y-axis where x is equal. So it's going to cross at -12. So down here somewhere we've got -12. So now we can do some joining up stuff. If I put a point here, that might help me draw my quadratic. So it's going to look something like this. Something like that. We don't actually know where minimum is. To find out the minimum, I would have to complete the square on this, but it's not asking me to do it, so I'm not going to do it. Oh, balls. It asks you to do it now. That's stupid. Alright, I've got to do it now. So yeah, I've got to complete the square on this. So I'm going to go straight into it. So this is path the x value, so it's going to be -2. And then you can't get rid of the -12, you've got to keep that. But what you've got to get rid of is that -2 squared, so you've got a -4 as well. So the completed square is going to be x -2 squared. If I move this back here, that means the minimum here is going to be at 2 and -16. So that's where it is. Part 2, it's asking us for the minimum value. The minimum value is just the number at the end, so the minimum value is -16. You can get error carried forward here, so if you mess this bit up here, so long as you'd get that mark. Question D, it's now this thing here, and it's being translated by this vector here. It's now asking you for the new equation, so let's just do -3 and 2. So the new equation, I think best thing to do is to use this thing here. So don't use this equation here, because that's going to be nasty to work with. Use your completed square one. So with your completed square one, just write it out and then do each little bit. So I've added 2 on to the y. So I've added 2 on there. So this one is going to be -14. So that's the new bit for the y. For the x though, you've got to do this. So this is moving left by 3. You actually have to do a plus, I believe. +3 here. And -2. So all I did was I replaced the x with this bit here. So let me double check. So yeah, that's definitely right. Yeah. So now if I get rid of the brackets, I've got +3 -2. So now it's going to be, oh sorry, there's a square there. So it's going to be x +1 squared -14. And there's your new thingamajig. What's it called? Yeah, can't remember what it's called. But yeah, that's it. So let's double check by marking it. So scroll down. So question 2, we'll mark in orange. That's orange enough for me. So the very first question is factorizing. So +2 -6, -6 +2. So get 1 mark there. Next mark is for the actual sketch. So 4 marks for sketch is pretty bad. So let's go through one by one. So correct x values for your B mark. So -2 and 6. So I've got -2, -6, that gives me 1 mark. So next mark is the y value of -12. So it crosses at -12. So that's going to be 1 mark there. The next bit is for essentially the parabola shape. So parabola shape, I've got a parabola shape, 1 mark. And then the 4th mark is basically the correct shape. Notice this quotation mark, no idea what that means, but the correct shape in all 4 quadrants with the minimum to the right of the y-axis. So here you've got this bit here, there's my minimum, so I guess I get the 4th mark. So that's quite nice. That's nice and easy to do because especially if you add these points in. So remember how I added the 2 and the -6 first, then I added in the -12, and then I drew the quadratic, making sure to go through all 3 points. That will basically give you the correct shape. You can't see, but I'm doing the little quotation marks with my hands. But yeah, next one, -2, that gives you a mark. -2 gives you a mark, and then -16. So there you are, -16. Minimum value is -16. You can see here that they do give you error carried forward. So your -q. So whatever value you have here instead of -16, you can have that instead. So with this question, the translation one, you get 1 mark for replacing x with x plus 3. So you get 1 mark for that. Yay. And then you get basically the next mark for adding you can have the first method mark for replacing x with x plus 3, as I've marked ready, or adding 2 on. So adding 2 on is probably the easiest, so I think everyone would have got that first mark. The last mark is for the actual thing. So there's many answers you can have. I've got this answer here, which is +1 -14. So +1 -14. So there's 2 out of 2. You could have these other answers, which they've done by multiplying out the brackets, essentially. You don't need to do that. I wouldn't do it, because they give you the mark for this, so just go with this. And just remember, it's easier to do it not with the quadratic they give you, but your completed square form. So just take the completed square form and do some hocus pocus with it. But that is question 2. Move on to question 3.